You are now rocking with the Cool Cats and me, the D.E.V. Now, I'm going to be straight up with y'all. When I was young, my parents wouldn't let me have cats for this very reason. Because, unlike dogs, cats, you can't really tame them or train them you can, but one of a cat's most natural reflexes is to jump. And they're gonna jump on stuff. So I could never, now some of y'all know I'm a dog person. I'm an animal lover. But I grew up having dogs, breeding dogs. Not grew up breeding dogs, but eventually I got into breeding dogs. So dogs were a big part of my life. Cats came a little later, and this is one of the very reasons when you're a child and you're an animal lover, you want to have any pet you can that you figure out or understand you can have. So I think the first pets that I ever had was fish. Now I've had more fish than I've had dogs. Y'all know some of you know, because this is a new series and I'm gonna talk about that shortly. But for those of you all who have been with us for a little bit, y'all know that I love fish too. I had fish tanks. But anyway, fish were the first pet that I had because they were, I guess, the simplest and the most out of the way for parents. You know what I mean? Where they didn't have to do anything or they would mess up the house the least. So, when I was in junior high school, I think it was, they called it back then, at one time I had 7 fish tanks. And so I'm a big fish guy. But anyway, getting back to the cats. Cats is something that came up. I asked for cats, but one of the very reasons I was not allowed to have a cat while I was living in my parents' house was because of cats jumping on stuff, and in particular, my parents, in particular my mother, she was just not having cats jumping on a counter in her kitchen. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you hit subscribe and notifications so you don't miss any future content. But I thought the same thing. One of the things that are the reasons I was kind of hesitant about getting a cat or getting cats. When I thought about it, and when I make decisions, I always do this T, and I put the pros and the cons and I list them, and that's how I make a lot of my major decisions. And so, if I have a major decision to make, and I make that T, and I put the pros and cons, which when I go through and I wreck my brain, whatever has the most, if it has more pros than cons, that's how I make my decision. If I have more cons than pros, I don't do it. And so, obviously, when I was deciding to get cats, it turned out favorably for getting cats, but that was one of the cons when I was looking at it. is that cats jumping on your kitchen counter. I mean, cause look, guys, I done formed a crew, the Cool Cats crew. But let's be real, cats jumping on our counters and stuff where we eat, and they digging in the litter box, and that's just nasty. So when I first got my cats, I got two brothers. I'm gonna talk about them here in a minute. So I started off with two cats, and I would recommend anybody when getting pets, you should have two, because pets are always more comfortable with one of their own. Uh, Cats are no different. But when I first got my cats, I was living in an apartment back in Maryland, and so I had done my research and everything on the cats before I got them. Just that's just kind of how I am. And so I had read to keep these cats off your counter. Cats don't like things under their feet. And so I heard about the aluminum foil. I heard about some type of paper, putting tape on it. So when they jumped up there, they would jump off and they would think it was some negative experience. So, that's what I did. And for the first couple of times, at least what I witnessed with my own eyes, they would jump up there and jump off. But after a while, I think it was Batman, which is one of my cats. I caught him up there just chilling. So after he got used to it, that was no longer a deterrent for this guy. And you gotta know him, but that was the case. And so in researching it and figuring it out a little bit more, I also heard, the way that you get cats, because cats crave attention. And so either positive or negative. So if the cats jump on it, what I used to do, it just part of who I am. I would see them on the counter. Your first reaction is, get down, stop, yell at them, or throw something, or whatever, right? Just a natural reaction. But what I had to learn is that was showing them attention, even though we look at it as a negative thing, they just look at it as attention. Whether it's positive or negative, to them it's just attention. So if they do something and it's rewarded with attention, they're going to do it again, and they're going to keep doing it. So that's something I had to learn, okay? And so what worked for me is that, and this is hard, at least it was for me, is when they would jump on the counter, just ignore them. Yeah. I used to pull my hair out, and that's not an easy feat for me. But when I did that, after a while, they would be like, there's nothing up here for me. There's nothing exciting for cats to do. There's no toys up here. It's no whatever, right? It wasn't something they was interested in. So consequently, they stopped doing it. Now, another thing that I learned is if you can give them a perspective or a way that they can be part, because they just want to be part of what you're doing. then that would be sufficient for them. So I got a little cat tree, a little, not a full one, just a half one, counter high, and put it in a corner away from the counter. And then when I'm in there cooking or doing whatever, they would go on there and they could see and they were fine. And so, that was kind of my experience with getting them off of the counter. Now, as I mentioned a little earlier, this is a new series for us. Uh, we welcome new members, and all of you all logging into us for the first time. Welcome. But we have plenty of content on our channel that we've done. So you are more than welcome, and please do go look at that content, which is a whole different format than this. But we are starting a new series this year, and it's called Livin Wit. And I'm just doing something a little different, talking about actually living with these jokers I got called cats. We are the Cool Cats and the D.E.V. That's me. But my cats are special. And so we have uh, a family of cool cats that have been with us for a while, but we welcome you guys in with this new episode. This is episode 1. And for those that we are welcoming in that are coming aboard new this year, I want to introduce the cast of characters, if you will, uh, for our family, our Cool Cats family. So when I first got my cats, I got 2 brothers, and the first one, his name is Batman. Okay, and so Batman, how do I describe Batman? Batman he's definitely the ringleader. Why I named the Batman? When I got him, this was immediately, you could see he was all cat. Uh, he is a leader. He is that wild cat. I call him like a watch cat. Even he has no fear, man. I mean, he does some wild stuff. He's in your face. When people would ever come over the house, you know how cats are kind of nervous, they go hide. He would go to the door, sniff people's feet, look at them like, what you doing here? I mean, he's a brave cat. And he's cool. And really this whole thing centered around this guy being a cool cat, Batman. We call him Young Breezy because he's so cool. Young Breezy, what we call him. All right, so then his brother is totally the opposite personality of him. His name is Robin. Yes, Batman and Robin. And Robin is the sweetest, laid back, quiet cat that you can find. Now, he has some particular ways about himself too. Now, now both of these cats, they're brothers. They are of the Devon Rex breed, and some Devon Rexes can be on the smaller side. Robin is on the smaller side, so he's 7 years old, but he's not a big cat. And he's real shy, kind of timid, and so he likes to sleep a lot. He likes to be to himself. And so, like I say, he is the opposite of Batman. Now, One thing, he has a couple of nicknames. Okay, Robin is real quiet, but we learned this about him after a while, is that he real sneaky. And when Batman would be doing his stuff or cutting up, and then when we got our third cat, they be in the ruckus and they be doing all this. And Robin, being a quiet, reserved cat that he is, he would not be involved in that, but he will always be in the room, in the corner somewhere, just watching. And then later on, he would come up to me and at a different time of the day, and he would just start meow, 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 and telling me all this stuff. And you gotta know Robin, he's real quiet. And so I start calling him the witness, because he would sit in the cut and observe and then come and tell. He was a tattletale. So we start calling Robin the witness for that reason. And then his second uh, nickname is Baby Gramps, because he always got his eyes half closed and he got this scowl on his face, and he looked like an old man. Even when he was 6 months old, he looked like a grumpy old man. So we call him Baby Gramps, the witness. All right. And then last but not least, we got Bruh Man. That's right, Bruh Man from the fifth floor, like on Martin Lawrence show. Now, Bruh Man, he's special. That's my little baby. I have to say it. So Bruh Man is a Bombay cat. Okay. And now I got Bruh Man from a shelter when he was 10 weeks old. And it's a long story with that. I won't go to it here, but I got him from a shelter, and it was during COVID. All right. So for like, during COVID, you wasn't having people over your house and all that type of stuff. So when I got him at 10 weeks old, he didn't like see another person until he was almost like maybe a year and a half. And so he really bonded with me. He's not really good around other people for that reason. And so, but bruh man, his personality, he's a big baby. And I think that has something to do with it, just kind of how he came into our family and the circumstances. But he follows me everywhere. Like I can't, whenever I sit down, he's in my lap. He's a big old thick boy, and he's kind of heavy-handed. He's one of those cats that's big and thick and heavy-handed and don't know it. So I gotta watch him playing around Robin, because Robin's small. But anyway, this is the Cool Cats, and together, along with the D.E.V, I'm an old MC from the DMV. We make up Cool Cats and the D.E.V. Like I said, when I first got these cats, the way the kitchen was situated, it had an island. It was just like, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. It wasn't an island. You know where the stove is, then the microwave is above that, and then the whatever's on the side, that's all it was. Okay? So the cats, when they jumped up there, it was in my cooking area. All right. And so now where I am, let me show y'all. Where I am now, see this is what I meant. Like you got your stove, your microwave up there, and then the little two areas on the side, that's your cooking area. Well, where I am now, I have that, but I also had this island here across from it and all this space here. Now me, the way I do it, I don't really care if they get on that island thing on that, you know, but they can get up on the cooking area where I'm actually cooking. Now, do I do some stuff with food on the island? Sure. But to me, trying to keep these cats off the island too, it was gonna be next to impossible. So I just said the hell with it, and they can have that, but they can't get up here where I cook. And I think, we've been a few places since I've had them. I think they kind of get the spill at this point, and they kind of flow kind of effortlessly. Whenever they see me cooking and stuff, they know not to jump up there. All right. So, and I think another thing. Now, first of all, y'all let me know y'all thoughts on that in the comments, please. How do y'all feel about cats in the kitchen? What are you all's rules, or how do you all's cats and yourself interact as far as that is concerned? Do you consider cats jumping up on the counters and all that nasty? Do you have them in your kitchen at all, or what are your rules? Okay? So another thing too, I think, and this is just I'm assuming, but a lot of it probably just had to do with me. For me, when I got my cats, it's been 7 years now. All right. But cats were new. And over time, as the person, you just adapt, So maybe what I was thinking when I first got cats, and oh my God, and this and that, after a while, you just kind of whatever, or you just kind of get used to it, or some of the things you were fearful about, you not so much. You probably the one that changed. So I kind of think that's the case as well. Now remember to treat your animals well. They didn't ask to be there with you, but now all they have is you. Treat them like family. Fam.